Wow. You try you tried to give her back her thing. So clearly it was her stuff. She snatched it out of your. Nah, you're not snatching nothing out of my hand now. I'm trying to be nice and you're up here acting like I'm on some weird stuff. Look, I like the karma. This is a little different type story, but I I like the karma on this one. I love it.
Subject: that time I got called a creep for being nice at the gym, and why I secretly laughed when karma hit. Hey, true story of man, I don't even know where to start. I've been watching your channel for over 3 years now. I was 21 when I stumbled across it. Random recommendation after I watched a video on why modern relationships are a mess. I remember the first video I saw too. It was about some dude whose wife ran off with his barber. I was crying laughing, not because his pain was funny, but because the way you read it, the details, the drama. Man, it was like reality TV, but somehow more real. Been hooked ever since. Back then, I was in a relationship. My first real adult girlfriend. We were together for almost 2 years, and honestly, she was cool until she wasn't. I might tell that story one day too, but for now, I want to share something that happened a couple weeks ago at the gym. I've seen some wild situations in life, but this one left me so embarrassed and confused, I almost stopped going to the gym altogether. The only reason I didn't? Pure spite. I refused to let one person with bad judgment ruin my entire leg day. Anyway, let me back it up. I'm 24 now, in a different relationship, one that I actually think might be long term. And I've been going to this same gym for a little over a year. Nothing fancy, mid-tier chain spot, clean, solid machines, enough racks and cables to not want to scream during rush hour. The gym's always been a peaceful place for me. Headphones in, hoodie on, nobody bothering, nobody. That's the code. But one day, that code got shattered. It was a Thursday. I remember that clearly because Thursday is usually my back and shoulders day. I was hitting my sets on the lat pull down when I walked past this girl I'd never seen before. Let's just call her Gym Girl because I still don't know her name, and honestly, I never want to. I walked past her, literally just walking to grab a dumbbell from the other side, and she gave me this look like I just sneezed in her face or called her dog ugly. You ever see someone scrunch up their face like they smelled something awful? That's exactly the face she gave me. Mugged me down like I was pond scum. And I paused for a second like, huh? I checked myself. Hoodie zipped, no sweat patches, didn't smell bad. I'm clean, I swear. Didn't even look in her direction longer than a second. I was so confused. But whatever, I kept it moving. Figured maybe she just had resting mean face or something. It happens. 40 minutes later, I'm done with my core and cable work, and I'm heading over to the treadmills to finish off with a mild jog. There's only one treadmill left open, and as I walk over, I see that gym girl just stepped off it. She had her towel, her water bottle, and she left behind what looked like one of those wireless earbud charger kits. Black case, real small. Now I could have left it there, but I'm not built like that. If it were me, I'd want someone to return it before some sketchy dude swipes it. So I picked it up and walked toward her. She hadn't even made it out of the cardio section yet, just a few steps ahead. She had her earbuds in, so I lightly waved the case at her and said, "Hey, I think you dropped." Before I could finish, she ripped her earbuds out, spun around and screamed, "Get away from me, creep!" Bro, I froze, mid-step, arm extended like I was about to hand her the last rose on The Bachelor. My heart dropped. People turned. The ones without headphones, all eyes on me. The ones with headphones, they paused, lifted one side up, saw the drama, and locked in too. You could have heard a barbell hit the floor. I was in shock. I just stood there. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. And then she looks down at my hand, sees the charger, snatches it out of my hand like I had stolen it from her purse, and storms off. Didn't say thank you, didn't apologize, just stomped away with her little ego fully inflated. I just, I didn't know what to do. You know, when something happens so fast and your brain's trying to figure out if it was real? That was me. I stood there for a solid 10 seconds before I walked back to the treadmill and started my jog. But I wasn't running for cardio. I was running for my dignity. And that's when the pettiness kicked in. See, as I'm jogging, I noticed Gym Girl went over to the dumbbell area. Now, this girl, who already looks like she thinks she's a fitness influencer, starts trying to do one of the hardest, most advanced compound movements I've seen someone attempt with zero warm up or prep. You know those Bulgarian split squats with the shoulder press at the top? Yeah, she was trying to do that. With 25-pound dumbbells, she sets up in front of the mirror, adjusting her ponytail like she's about to shoot a Nike commercial, and I'm watching, trying not to stare, but also like, this is about to go bad. And wouldn't you know it, it did. She steps into position, squats down, starts to press the dumbbells overhead, and her back leg gives out. Girl didn't just wobble. She face planted, straight to the mat. One dumbbell rolled away, the other landed about 6 inches from her cheek. I kid you not, it looked like a slow motion scene out of an action movie. I paused the treadmill, not because I was concerned. Nah, I paused because I was trying not to bust out laughing. People turned again, but this time it was different. She was the main character now, not me. She got up fast, tried to play it off like she meant to fall, wiped her forehead like she was just sweating, but her face was redder than a beet in a blender. I made eye contact in the mirror. She saw me looking, and I couldn't hold it. I smirked. I gave her the tiniest smile like, yeah, karma's real. Was it petty? Sure. But man, after how she embarrassed me, I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel satisfying. So yeah, Gym Girl ate it hard in front of everyone, and I know it sounds childish, but I felt vindicated. I didn't need her to fall, didn't wish her physical harm, but I'd be lying if I said watching her trip over her own arrogance didn't heal a little part of me. After she face planted, she left the gym about 10 minutes later. Didn't look at me again. Didn't say sorry. Nothing. And since then, I haven't seen her again. I don't know if she switched gyms or just needed time to recover from the public humiliation, but she vanished. That should have been the end of it, right? But it stuck with me. Not the fall, not the charger, not even the public embarrassment. What got to me, what kept spinning in my mind days after, was how quickly a guy like me could be labeled a creep. Just like that. No context, no conversation, no second chances. I wasn't dressed weird. I wasn't leering. I wasn't even flirting. I was literally returning something she left behind, and it almost ruined my day. If I hadn't been confident or didn't have a sense of humor, that kind of thing could have really messed me up. And I know people will say, oh, she probably had a bad experience before, or she was just being cautious. Cool, I get that. I really do. But there's got to be a line somewhere between caution and accusation. Because what if someone had filmed that? What if the wrong person believed her version of events and not mine? Scary world, man. The next day, I told my girlfriend what happened. Let me pause for a second and say, yeah, I'm in a relationship. A real one. A good one. Been with her almost a year now. She's 26, works in finance, and we met at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. No drama, no games. Just two people with a real connection. She laughed when I told her the gym story. At first, I thought she was about to scold me or accuse me of doing too much, but she was on my side 100%. She was like, Ken, that girl probably thinks every man wants her just for being in leggings. We had a whole conversation about how things have changed. She even admitted that when she's at the gym, she zones out and assumes the worst about some people too. But when I explained the Charger situation, she was like, nah, that girl's just ungrateful. Still, it made me think deeper about how quick people are to judge. about how fragile a man's reputation can be these days, about how cautious you have to be, even when you're doing the right thing. And honestly, that's what made me want to write in. I started watching your channel years ago for entertainment. Now I watch for perspective. Every time a guy writes in about being falsely accused, cheated on, abandoned after giving his all, I feel that more now. I used to laugh. Now I listen. And look, I'm not trying to say all women are like that. Far from it. I've met some incredible women. My mom is a queen. My sisters are strong, smart, and loyal. My current girlfriend is funny, ambitious, and makes me want to be better every day. But something's definitely off out there. There's this underlying tension now, like men are being seen as guilty until proven innocent in every public interaction. If you try to help someone, you're being weird. If you ignore someone, you're arrogant. If you flirt, you're a predator. And if you don't flirt, you're intimidating or standoffish. It's exhausting, man. And that leads me to the second part of what I wanted to talk about. Relationships versus marriage. I still believe in relationships. I do. I think two people can build something beautiful, grow together, support each other, and be better together than they are alone. I've seen it. I've lived it. I'm in it now. But marriage? That's where I get stuck. I've seen too many good men get married, put their whole hearts into it, only to be used, discarded, or destroyed. Guys who paid off debt, took in stepkids, supported dreams, and still got cheated on, left, or lied about in court. Guys who stayed loyal, who worked 2 jobs, who bought houses, only to lose half in a divorce because their wives weren't happy anymore. I've seen guys get torn apart emotionally, mentally, and financially just for loving the wrong woman. And it's not just from your channel either. It's my boys, my coworkers. My own cousin just went through a divorce where his ex took the house and the dog, and he still has to pay her alimony even though she's the one who cheated. So yeah, I get nervous when I think about marriage. I want to believe in it. I do. I want the whole thing. Wedding, kids, building a life together. But I don't want to lose everything I've worked for just because someone wakes up one day and decides they're not in love anymore. That's why I'm cautious. My girlfriend and I have had that talk a few times. She wants to get married someday, and I've told her honestly, I need time. Not because I don't love her, but because I've seen what happens when marriage goes bad. It's not just heartbreak. It's scorched earth. It's lawyers, courtrooms, bitterness, and lies. I told her, if I ever get married, it's going to be because I believe with every part of me that you'll still have my back, even when it's not fun anymore. So far, she's been patient. She gets it. And maybe that's why I think this one's worth trying for. Still, I'll never forget what happened at that gym. It was a small thing on the surface, but to me, it was a wake-up call. It reminded me that one bad judgment, one wrong assumption, one false narrative can flip your whole life upside down. I've seen it too many times, and I don't want to be the next true story tragedy. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me this far. I know it probably sounds like I made a big deal out of a minor incident, but that's the thing. When you're a man, even the little things can feel big, especially when they mess with your dignity in public. That's what no one really talks about. The silent rules men have to follow every single day just to avoid being labeled. Don't stare. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't offer help unless she's clearly in danger. Don't compliment her, even if she spent an hour on her appearance. Don't stand too close. Don't stand too far. Don't smile too wide. Don't be dry. It's a checklist longer than a tax return, and if you mess up even once, you're done. You're the creep. You're the weirdo. You're the thirsty dude. Just for existing in the same space. I think what frustrated me most about the gym situation was that I wasn't even trying to be noticed. I didn't want gym girls' attention. I didn't even find her attractive like that. It wasn't that deep. I was just trying to be decent, but it's like some people can't imagine a guy doing something nice without an agenda. And the irony? That same girl probably complains on social media about how men don't do anything for women anymore. I can already hear her TikTok voiceover. Guys don't have manners these days. They just walk right past you. No respect, no decency. Like, girl, I tried. I get it though. Society's become a place where people are constantly on edge. Women are being told to treat every man as a potential threat. Men are being told to suppress everything: feelings, instincts, reactions, and just take the L quietly. But that's why your channel matters. You give men a voice. You give us a space to talk, to vent, to share what it's like being on this side of the fence. And believe me, that matters more than people realize. There's a certain loneliness that comes with being a man today. You can't be too soft or you're weak. You can't be too assertive or you're toxic. You can't be vulnerable without being judged. So most guys stay quiet. We take the hit. We shake our heads. We laugh it off. But those moments pile up, one after another, until you start questioning who you are, how you're supposed to act, or if it's even worth it to care. That's what almost happened to me after the gym incident. For a few days, I felt off. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I avoided eye contact in public. I kept replaying the moment in my head, wondering if maybe I did do something wrong. But then I remembered who I am. I'm not some sleazeball. I'm not a pickup artist. I'm not some clown who stalks women at the gym. I'm just a regular dude who saw something left behind and tried to return it. That's it. And yeah, maybe Gym Girl was having a bad day. Maybe she'd been followed before and her radar was up. But even then, screaming like that, snatching the charger, embarrassing someone who did nothing wrong, that's not okay either. It reminded me that people aren't always going to see your intentions the way you meant them. And when that happens, you've got to be solid enough in yourself to know the truth, because no one else is going to speak up for you in that moment. The world's loudest voices are often the ones telling men to man up, shut up, or take the L. But your channel? It's one of the few spaces where we're allowed to speak, where our side gets heard, where we're not just the villain in someone else's story. I've heard stories on your channel that broke my heart. Men who gave everything only to be used. Men who built lives from scratch just to have it all taken away. Men who stayed faithful, who fought for their families, only to be left holding the pieces of something they didn't even break. And yet somehow, those same men get called the problem. It's wild. I think that's why I have started to speak up more with my friends, my coworkers, even my girlfriend. I don't let little things slide anymore. If someone says something unfair or makes an assumption just because I'm a man, I call it out. Respectfully, calmly, but firmly. I owe that to myself. And I owe that to the younger guys who are coming up behind me. Because I don't want the next 18-year-old kid who holds the door open at a coffee shop to be called a creep for simply being polite. I don't want the next college student to get side-eyed for offering to carry groceries for an older woman. I don't want basic human decency to be mistaken for manipulation. We've got to be able to exist in public without constantly defending our character, and women deserve respect, absolutely. But so do we. Anyway, I'll wrap this up here. If Gym Girl ever sees this somehow, I hope she thinks twice before lashing out like that again. I hope she learns the difference between a kind gesture and a threat. And I hope she never has to feel what I felt that day, being humiliated in front of strangers just for doing the right thing. As for me, I'm still going to the gym, still doing my thing, still in a relationship with a woman who appreciates me for who I am. We're building something real, no pressure, no rush, just growth. And yeah, I might be unsure about marriage. I might still be skeptical, but I haven't given up. Because despite all the craziness out here, I know love's still possible. You just have to be smart about who you give it to. Thanks for reading my story. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're making a difference, even when it doesn't feel like it. The world needs more platforms like yours.